Hello, and welcome to Healing Warrior Wednesday. I am sharing a tarot card reading today, as well as some mental health resources that I listed at the back of my book, I Sang Anyway. So I wanted to wish you peace and happiness on this Wednesday. And I'm reading a message for the collective from Rebecca Campbell's deck, The Rose Oracle. So we'll start with that. And then we'll get into some of the mental health resources, because educating ourselves about how to interact with people and be our best versions of ourselves is very important, regardless of how the other person may be acting. So I have the cards here. And if you'd like, you can go ahead and just to ground and come into the present moment. Close your eyes, and I'm going to start with a few deep breaths, simply to let the outside world fade away just for a moment. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And so, as we settle in, I call upon spirit guides and angels for anyone listening to this message, that this message may inspire for the greatest good and bring in the energy that we wish to experience in our lives. And I'm clearing the deck. And then next I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it, and we'll bring in the messages from the angels and spirit guides. And as you are listening to this, I am wearing headphones for a reason. My son is homesick, and though he is sick, he's in video games, so he's not that sick. And he might be kind of loud, so sorry if you hear him in the background. All right, so I finished shuffling. And now I'm spreading out the cards. And so what I do is I close my eyes and allow which cards need to be chosen to be under my hand. And we're going to go three cards today. Okay. So the first card, this is one of my favorite cards. I've drawn it multiple times. So this is the grandmothers, and I'm going to try to hold it up so you can see it. Hopefully it doesn't fade into my virtual background like my shoulder is. But I love this card for multiple reasons. One is that Rebecca Campbell has actually placed a painting of her actual grandmother right there in the corner. That's her grandmother. And the card says, remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. And in this time that can feel very ungrounded, when you don't know what messages to trust, what is real, what is not real, it's important to remember you don't have to do it all alone. You have a lineage of grandmothers, of mother figures that are supporting you behind you. And it's okay to accept and tap into their wisdom and allow that ancient wisdom to come through you, whether it is in meditation or if you are in nature doing a walking meditation. But it's important to allow that gentle, loving energy into our lives. I'm not saying that all grandmothers are gentle and loving, but that is what we're going for, what is coming through in the message. So the next card is the breathing rose. And the breathing rose says heart, healing, emotions, connection, time eases. Okay, and so this is a very needed message of healing right now to remind us to connect to our breath, especially if we are stressed, anxious, if we are feeling our lungs constricted. Take deep breaths, close your eyes, hold yourself with compassion. If you want, you can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, with your eyes closed. Breathe in peace. Breathe out fear and doubt. And simply coming right into the right now. And then the third card is so lovely. Healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. And you can see the card, kind of see the card here. This is what happens when I use a virtual background. But you are more healed than you know. And there's a really loud truck going past right now. You may hear. You're more healed than you know. And you have healing coming to you. And if you focus on how much further along you are in your healing than you were before, acknowledging that, being grateful for it, filling your heart with the gratitude of how much further you have come compared to before, that will help you get into the place to align with the healing, to accept it into your life and to focus on that. So yes, we have these traumatic things that happened to us in the past, but we can choose to align with the energy of the grandmothers, with the softness of the rose, with the beauty and trusting of the present moment. Because when we learn how to let go of the things that have harmed us in the past, not accepting them, just letting go, then we allow space for the good to come in. All right, so this is my book. You may or may not have already seen it. I hope you bought your copy. I sang anyway. A Stepmom Spiritual Memoir of Healing by me, Rachel Merrill. And I wanted to share some of the resources that are at the back of the book. I included a lot of resources at the end because I felt that they were really important for me when I was going through my healing process, which still continues, by the way. It's not like you just reach an end goal. But I wanted to specifically share mental health resources that have helped me along the way. And I'm going to actually include links, or rather the names. I'll include the names of the resources below this video. And then if you'd like to have the complete list of all the resources that's in my book, I'll include a link to my book so that you can find these really helpful resources too. The first one is Becoming the Narcissist's Nightmare: How to Devalue and Discard the Narcissist While Supplying Yourself by Shahida Arabi. The next one of my favorites, I mentioned this on the Empowered Women's podcast. That's coming out pretty soon with Amanda McAuliffe. But the book is called Boundary Boss, The Essential Guide to Talk True, Be Seen, and Finally Live Free by Terry Cole. The reason this is one of my favorites is that it includes scripts of exactly what you can say to people when you are asserting your boundaries, when you're saying, this is my boundary here, cannot go past it, otherwise, consequences. But she has a wonderful way of really phrasing what you need to say, to be in the present moment and still be living in your power and your truth, despite whatever the other person is saying. The next is Disarming the Narcissist. This is probably my first number one recommendation for dealing with narcissists. Disarming the Narcissist, Surviving and Thriving with the Self-Absorbed by Wendy T. Bahari. Next, on the mental health resources, I just have 4 more. National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI, NAMI.org. This is a great organization. Next is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Then the Power and Control Wheel from the National Center on Domestic and Sexual Violence. This is a wonderful graphic that shows exactly how the power and control works in cases of domestic and sexual violence, so that you can understand between the victim and the person committing the crime, what that dynamic of power looks like. And then Recovery of Your Inner Child by Lucia, and I apologize, I don't know how to say her last name, Capaccioni, that's not right, but PhD. Recovery of Your Inner Child, also really wonderful way of getting in touch with your younger self, because all of time, the past, present, future, that's all an illusion. We're in a continuum, and that's all I'll share on my thoughts for that. But I want to go back and say thank you to the angels and spirit guides for your message through these cards. And thank you for being here to listen to the message and to find out more about mental health resources. I wish you a blessed day. Namaste.